if you are experiencing spell work or spiritual attack, please know that the spells sent out are not random but calculated, because sorcerers choose which spells to send to a person based on the person's spiritual gifts and the nature of their magic. So essentially, if you want to get an idea of where your magic and power lies, just pay attention to what element or aspect of your spirituality is being targeted, and that will show you exactly the area that sorcerers may wish to weaken you, because that is where your spiritual gifts are the strongest. Hello, beautiful people. It is Oshun Kimmy, Mother of Mysteries. I am a psychic medium, reader, and channeler who receives revelations about the mysteries of magic and the universe directly from my ancestral and spiritual team. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to receive exclusive messages about spirituality, about magic that you will not find anywhere else but on this channel. And so how a sorcerer chooses to attack a person actually says a lot about where that person that they are targeting has a lot of power. For instance, if a person has the gift of prophetic dreams, lucid dreaming, or astral traveling, a sorcerer may therefore choose to attack them in the dream or ethereal state, because technically that is where the person that they are targeting holds the most magic. And so the thing with our magic is that it kind of can be a two-edged sword. If we are still learning how to use it properly, they're going to target you where you actually have magic at in order to limit your ability, your faith in your own magic. When a sorcerer thinks that they are going to limit or block us from fully being able to manifest our magic and work our spiritual gifts, then that is actually also our opportunity to get stronger in our spiritual gifts. And before I continue explaining specific examples of how sorcerers may strive to use our spiritual gifts against us, let's go ahead and drop our affirmations in the comments below to protect our energy from this type of sorcery. Please declare before the universe, I exert full mastery over my spiritual gifts and am devoted to refining my spiritual practice. And or simply like this video to seal in that affirmation. So if a person has the power of dreaming, sorcerers may work to block that person's dream or bind that person in the dream state. And signs of attack on a person's dreaming power is going to be things like not being able to remember your dreams, or finding oneself imprisoned, chained, lost, or being chased in the dream state. So if a person is psychic or clairvoyant, in order to distort the energy of that person's gifts, a sorcerer may choose to overload, confuse, or drain the energy of the person's crown chakra to block or confuse the person's intuition. So some signs that this is occurring would be feelings of confusion and overwhelm when it comes to receiving spiritual messages. The person being targeted may feel that they are hearing or perceiving way too much at one time, or they are receiving conflicting messages that they cannot identify where the messages are coming from. And they may have trouble processing the spiritual messages and downloads being received. Of course, we are going to talk remedies and solutions. Firstly, when it comes to remedies, we must reclaim sovereignty over our own magic and our own spiritual gifts, which we do by learning how to work our gifts, by building up strong spiritual routines, by engaging in spiritual study. And I stress the importance of spiritual study, because one of the quickest ways to activate your spiritual power and remember who you are in the spirit is through studying spiritual texts that detail how the universe works, the mechanics of life and death, the energy of yin and yang, how to use herbs, candles, and crystals, or even just study spiritual texts about whatever religious or spiritual practices that you are interested in or that you currently follow. So not only should we be reading, we should also be taking notes about what we read as well. To develop your spiritual routine and begin practicing using your gifts, start small and simple by incorporating manageable spiritual tasks into your daily or weekly routine. Maybe reserve every Saturday for spiritually cleansing yourself, your family, and your home. Maybe reserve Monday evenings for spiritual study, but pick a day of the week where you are doing something that is advancing, elevating, and growing your spiritual stature. And then once you get that routine down packed, that is when you add in other magical things like manifestation, creating vision boards, writing petitions, communicating with spirit. And if you still need guidance as to where to start with your spiritual routine and spiritual study, this is where I honestly recommend joining the Patreon, because the lectures and spiritual teachings that I offer there were designed for helping people develop a spiritual routine. When it comes to clearing attacks that may be manifesting in your dreams, it will help you to do a few things. For one, avoid eating super close to bedtime. If we are consuming too much too close to bedtime, whether this is food, TV, or social media, then we go into the spirit realm with too much gunk in our energy, and that is going to weaken our ability to stave off any spiritual attacks and receive the prophetic messages and visions that we need to receive. Also, make time for meditation, quietude, and prayer before bed so that your spirit can sharpen itself and prepare for its journey into the spiritual realm. Lastly, it may help us to play soothing frequencies or sounds while we sleep to stabilize the energy in the room and make it harder for lower vibrational forces to penetrate your aura and your energy. When it comes to attacks in general on your prophetic abilities, downloads, intuitions, crown chakras, the best thing you can do is maintain cleanliness. Cleanliness of your home, cleanliness of your body, internally and externally. So smudge, do your spiritual washes, keep your home spiritually clean, and perhaps most importantly, keep your gut clean and healthy. Be mindful of consuming too much sugar, too much meat, too much starch, etc. Opt for eating whole, unprocessed health foods, and your gifts will be sharper than sharp. Period. If you are in need of more direct one-on-one support and you feel called to book a session with me in alignment in accordance with your personal spiritual destiny, spiritual journey, and spiritual gifts, there will be a link to both readings and the Patreon in a pinned comment below. I hope to see you on a live Zoom call, on the Patreon, or simply on the next YouTube video. May peace and prosperity follow you everywhere that you are. Ashe.